Alright, hi guys, CombatEX with another FP VOD, and this game is a PvT on Zalanaga Caverns. And just quickly right off the bat, look how I'm mining. This is for a little bit more of an advanced level. If I'd say high masters, low GM. I'm mining the optimal mineral fields, and like they're pretty much the closest mineral fields, and I'm getting 2 at each patch before I get 1 at the further patches. And also, look at I made my pylon pretty much the closest viable place in my main, so my probes would have optimal mining for the early stages of the game. And honestly, this again, it only really helps when you're at that higher level, when everything's pretty much perfect early game and you want to improve on those small things. This is optimal way to mine. You always mine the coastal mineral fields. To see which ones are the coastal mineral fields, you can press delete or insert, tilt the camera around and see which ones are better. Yeah, I don't really recommend doing that if you're a lower level, because obviously, you know, you should be focusing on just making probes and chrono boosting as opposed to this kind of stuff. And this game, I'm just going to be showing you guys how to defend another variation of a 1-on-1 build. I know lots of Rotos players have problems with that, and so I'm going to be, you know, just making sure you guys know how to defend against that. And another quick announcement, not a really big announcement actually. A show match, me against Destiny on November, what is it? November 12th? Is that the Saturday? Yeah, November 12th at crap. I have the information somewhere, but I'll post it in the video description. I actually don't have it off the top of my head, but it's me against Destiny on November 12th, and you guys should all come check it out because it's like a $500 show match or something. I'll have the stream link and everything. Oh, it's at 5 p.m. And I'll have the stream link down below and everything. It's for Starcraft 2 North, are the people hosting it. They're this organization in Toronto that try to get big, and they're doing a pretty good job at it, right? They host lots of tournaments and lots of people show up, so yeah, it's going to be a pretty big show match. Lots of you guys should come check it out, because if you want to watch me own the crap out of Destiny and take home some free money, then definitely go check it out. Anyways, let's get back to this game now. So right now his SCV is scouting me, so you know, just I know that he's not going to be going for some sort of like proxy 2 barracks or any shenaniganry like that, because, well, 1, because of the SCV scout, and 2, because I scouted him myself. And that's something you can always take off when your opponent does scout you. You can essentially take out the proxy 2 gate or 2 barracks strategy, because they don't really scout when they're doing that strategy. They just like do it and own you with it, or get owned, I guess. And also, I know he's taking a gas, so I know he's not going for some 2 barracks pressure. I also noticed he walls his supply depot at his ramp. That also makes me a little bit, that makes me think he's probably going for some sort of bunker at his front, because you usually get a bunker at your front when you're doing supply depot at your front. And a bunker at your front also makes me think that he's probably going to be going for some sort of higher tech, and so all that I can conclude just from seeing a supply depot at the front. And am I making some pretty big assumptions? Yeah, I am, to be completely honest with you, but you know what, these assumptions are like, yeah, they're good assumptions to go off, and it's not like I'm going to change my build totally by seeing these assumptions. You know, I'm only changing it slightly, and you know, I'm just doing a normal 3-gate expand build, nothing too special going on here. And notice how I have both watchtowers, and I'm taking the closer watchtower to his base with my stalker. That's really important. Because, well, actually, I don't really recommend that for a lower level, because you're just going to lose the stalker. If you're at a diamond/masters level, I recommend keeping your actual army at the watchtowers, or not army, just an army unit at the watchtowers as opposed to probes early game, because you need the probes to mine, and just make sure you don't lose it. And also notice what I'm doing here. I sent another probe to the watchtower, which is very important, while I sent this probe behind his base. And I did that because, again, I want to know when he's going to be expanding. And now I see some Marines. What do I know? Now that I see 5 Marines, what does this tell me? This tells me that he's not going for a Marauder tech. That tells me that most likely that barracks had a reactor on it as opposed to a tech lab. And I see more Marines, and I also saw 2 Marines coming at once. So that almost confirms that barracks had a reactor on it. And now I know that a barracks with a reactor, the only real opening that is viable is when you're going for a 1-on-1 build. And now I see a medevac, and now that pretty much confirms that he's doing definitely some sort of tech build. Well, that definitely confirms that he's doing a tech build, considering he has a medevac out. And now, yeah, so again, all this I'm reading off just by his unit composition. You guys need to get really, really good at that. You guys need to be able to start reading your opponent's unit composition and knowing what they're doing accordingly. And again, a little bit of a higher level tactic, but still, like, it's not, like, too hard. Like, seeing two Marines coming at once and then knowing that they have a reactor on their barracks, that's really advanced, actually. Because then I know that he's going for some sort of tech, because I know the only build that's viable is a tech play with a reactor barracks. Anyway, so yeah, this, you know, he's dropping some Hellions off, which is really nice. And again, this is what you want to do against Hellions. Notice how I spread all my probes out in all pretty much different directions. You need to pretty much spam spread your probes, which is so important against Hellions. And just make sure, like, make them not do anything. Just don't worry about mining, and make sure they all die before you go back to mining, because the last thing you want to do is go back to mining, and then they get one more Hellion shot off, which kills all your probes. And also you can press Control F1 to select all the idle probes and make them go back to mining, so you don't have to individually select them to make them go back, which is a really handy trick. Also, another thing I recently started doing, I don't really recommend it, but change the Immortal and Mothership hotkey to not I or M, because they're really far away from the left side of the keyboard, and I changed them both to Q. And I don't know if this game's recorded when both of them are actually at Q or not, but I have changed both to Q. And now, so what's going through my head, I held off a small push, and I know he's not expanding because I have a probe behind his mineral line knowing when he's going to expand. Or a pylon there, I guess. And so I know he's still committing to an all-in attack. And I know I lost some probes, so I'm trying to make some more probes to replenish the ones I lost. And then I'm going to stop making probes, because again, if your opponent's going all in, the last thing you want to do is keep making probes and then die. And so after these probes are done, I'm probably going to stop making probes, and I just want to poke up the ramp to see his unit composition. Raven, Tank, Marine, obviously this is a 1-1-1 variation. And now, here's the dilemma I'm in. I'm pretty much thinking, okay, either can I possibly rush Colossus tech and get it out before he pushes me, or I can go gateways and hope for the best. And go gateways and pretty much try to out macro him with gateway units. And the reason I chose to go, pretty much chose to go robotics facility tech is, I actually have no reason behind it. I just wanted to be like, alright, screw it, let's just go for robotics facility tech. That's actually the reason behind it. I was just like, let's hope it works. And now, again, the Banshee is here. You know, this is really smart. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have Cloak, because I know that there's a Raven out. Usually when there's a Raven out, it pretty much nullifies, and Tank, I guess, it nullifies the fact that there's going to be Cloak, and so I'm not really worrisome of Cloak Banshees. I'm just really, you know, I'll have an ob, I'll have one obs for both my bases, just in case there is Cloak, hypothetically. And it will do some damage because it'll catch me off guard, but for the most part, I'm not going to assume Cloak. And also, again, it's so important to know when your opponent expands, because right now I'm not making probes. I'm not making probes because I think he's going to be all in on one base. What if he's expanding? You need to know when your opponent's going to be expanding. And at a really, really high level, when you're playing like pretty much top 20, top 30 Grandmaster level, you should always be scouting behind your mineral lines to kill enemy workers that are there, because if they're really good, they will be there, because again, a metagame tactic where you know that they should have a probe behind your mineral line to know when you're expanding. And now, I'm just going to force field off, because I have the sentries to force field. They haven't really done anything this whole time, so I'm just going to be waiting for my Colossus to come out. And another really important thing is you don't want to engage until you're forced to engage. Like right now, again, I moved out because I wanted to pre-siege, and pretty much just pre-siege, I guess, and I wanted to wait for my Colossus. And now, again, Guardian Shield, Force Field, and in front of my Immortal to get to the front. He's targeting my Colossus. Yeah, decent idea. I'm not going to say it's a good idea. And now, again, making your Immortals target the tanks, making your Stalkers target all the air units, and making your Zealots just, you know, do their thing. And after I kill the tanks, I'm going to run away because he still lived, waiting for the second Colossus, and always micro Stalkers back if you can. Like, Stalkers are ultimate micro units when you're against a 1-on-1 build, because, well, they just are. And now, you know, he's coming again. Another thing you want to do is always spread out your units when you're against 1-on-1, or spread out your Stalkers at least, because you don't want them to take massive tank damage. And Stalkers targeting the Banshee, Siege tank, or Colossus targeting the Marines, and Zealots doing their thing. That's usually what you want to do, except usually you don't want to get a Colossus against a 1-on-1. I guess in this case I just was able to. And now I own the crap out of this guy, and I take it easy, because, you know, that's also what you want to do after you win. And that's pretty much it. Pretty quick game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like always, look forward to more coming out, and nothing really else to say besides, like always, peace out.